Marie Antoinette, a name synonymous with royalty, extravagance, and tragedy. Born into the powerful Habsburg family, she was destined for greatness. But her life took a dramatic turn when she became Queen of France. Her story is one of love, loss, and ultimately, despair. Marie Antoinette's life ended on the guillotine, a symbol of the French Revolution's brutal reality. But her story is far more than just her execution. It's a story of a young queen, unprepared for the weight of a nation's expectations. She was thrust into the spotlight of the French court, a world of intrigue and luxury. Her every move was scrutinized. Her lavish lifestyle, a stark contrast to the struggles of the common people, fueled public resentment. This is the story of Marie Antoinette, a queen caught in the crosshairs of history. A queen who, despite her flaws, has captivated hearts and minds for centuries. Marie Antoinette was born into a world of privilege. She was the youngest daughter of Empress Maria Theresa of Austria. Her childhood was carefree, filled with music and laughter. But her life changed forever when she was just a teenager. At the tender age of 14, she was betrothed to Louis XVI, the heir to the French throne. This marriage was a political alliance, a way to cement ties between Austria and France. Marie Antoinette was sent to France, a young pawn in a game of power. The young Dauphine arrived in France to much fanfare. She was beautiful and charming, but she was also a stranger in a foreign land. She struggled to adapt to the strict etiquette of the French court. She missed her family and her home. Despite the challenges, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were married in a lavish ceremony. She became the Queen of France, a position of immense power and responsibility. Little did she know the tumultuous journey that lay ahead. As queen, Marie Antoinette lived a life of unparalleled luxury. She resided in the opulent palace of Versailles, surrounded by beautiful things. Her days were filled with balls, parties, and elaborate court rituals. Her wardrobe was legendary, filled with exquisite gowns and sparkling jewels. Marie Antoinette had a particular fondness for fashion and jewelry. Her taste was extravagant. She indulged in the finest silks, the most dazzling diamonds, and the most fashionable hairstyles. Her spending became legendary. The French people were struggling under the weight of poverty and starvation. They saw Marie Antoinette's extravagant lifestyle as a slap in the face. They resented her lavish spending. They called her Madame Déficit, blaming her for the country's financial woes. The queen, it seemed, was detached from the plight of her people. Her extravagance fueled public anger and resentment, fanning the flames of discontent that would eventually engulf France. Section 4. The Storm Brews. Revolution at the Gates. While Marie Antoinette lived in her gilded cage, a storm was brewing outside the palace walls. Years of economic mismanagement and social inequality had brought France to the brink of collapse. The people were hungry, they were angry, they demanded change. The French Revolution erupted in 1789. It was a time of great upheaval and bloodshed. The Bastille fell. The monarchy was under attack. The people of France were taking their destiny into their own hands. Marie Antoinette's role in the revolution is complex. She was not the cause of the revolution, but she became a symbol of its fury. Her lavish lifestyle and perceived indifference to the plight of the commoners made her an easy target for the revolutionaries. The queen was accused of treason, of conspiring with Austria against France. While the accusations were largely unfounded, they stuck. The public image of Marie Antoinette, the frivolous, out-of-touch queen, was firmly cemented in the public imagination. Section 5. The Trial of a Queen, Accusations and Despair. The revolution swept away the old order, the monarchy was abolished, Louis XVI was tried and executed. Marie Antoinette, once the most powerful woman in France, was now a prisoner, stripped of her title and dignity. She was put on trial by the Revolutionary Tribunal. The charges against her were serious treason, conspiracy, and even incest with her own son. The trial was a sham. Marie Antoinette was denied a fair defense. Despite the overwhelming evidence against her, Marie Antoinette faced the court with courage and dignity. She denied the charges, proclaiming her innocence. But her fate was already sealed. The revolutionaries wanted her head. The trial of Marie Antoinette was a show trial, a public spectacle designed to humiliate and discredit the former queen. It was a powerful symbol of the revolution's brutality, its determination to erase the past and forge a new future. Section 6. The Final Curtain. A Queen Meets Her End. On a cold October morning in 1793, Marie Antoinette was taken from her prison cell. Her hair was shorn. She was dressed in a simple white gown. She was no longer a queen. She was a condemned woman about to face her executioner. She was driven through the streets of Paris in an open cart, exposed to the jeers and insults of the crowd. But she held her head high, her gaze steady. She had accepted her fate. At the Place de la Révolution, the guillotine awaited. She climbed the steps with dignity. Her last words were, "I'm sorry," addressed to the executioner, whose foot she had accidentally stepped on. The blade fell. Marie Antoinette, the last queen of France, was no more. Her death marked the end of an era. It was a brutal and tragic end to a life that had begun with such promise. Her execution sent shockwaves across Europe. It became a symbol of the French Revolution's excesses, its reign of terror. But it also cemented Marie Antoinette's place in history, transforming her from a queen into a martyr. Section 7. A legacy etched in history. Remembering Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette's life was a tragedy. She was a victim of circumstance, a pawn in the game of power politics. She was unprepared for the role she was thrust into. Her extravagance and perceived aloofness made her a target of public anger. But it is important to remember that she was also a human being. A wife, a mother, a woman who loved beauty and laughter, a woman who faced her death with extraordinary courage. Over the centuries, Marie Antoinette has become an icon. Her story continues to fascinate us. She is a symbol of the French Revolution, of the excesses of the monarchy and the power of the people. Her legacy is complex and contradictory. She was both a villain and a victim, but her story reminds us that history is not black and white. It is a tapestry woven from countless threads, each one representing a life lived, a story told, a legacy left behind.